As I was reviewing my project-based learning unit from um, February of 2024, I came across these two quotes, and I think they really do stick with what I'm hoping to convey in this particular project-based learning unit. I know that as we teach, we learn, and in order for my physics students to really make sure that they have a bit of a foundation for electricity and circuitry, I am going to start their bigger unit, with this project, and have the physics students, which this year it is mostly 12th grade, but I do have some 11th grade in there. And it is a smaller group. When I prepared this project, I actually had 26 physics students, and this year I have like 8, but that's okay. So anyway, these students are, I'm hoping to get them to work with the students in the special education room, the students who have individual needs. But initially, the physics students, I mean, they'll know the goal, but initially they are going to have to do a little bit of research, and I'll help them out. But a little bit of research as to a basic circuit uh, artifact that they will be able to build and document in knowing, building and knowing that they are going to have to be able to teach somebody else how to do this, and not just one of their peers in the class, but teach someone who has some individual needs, and be able to differentiate the learning for a particular individual. So, as far as the standards that I have listed to touch in this project, the PA steals physical science standards to define, design, build, and refine a device that works within given constraints. So we only have so much materials. Engineering technology standards, a lot of design thinking here, researching human-centered design, PA ELA standards. They need to be able to communicate not only with me and each other, but with people who have other needs, and they will have to put together some slides that are clear. They will have to really, dissect, or just break things into smaller chunks for the students, and they'll need to keep all of these things in mind as they are planning. ISTE standards are listed as well. So overall, let's just talk about quickly the project again. But the basic components would be that the students are going to act as electricians or electronics technicians, but in a fun way, to create a simple circuit artifact. And like I had mentioned, and I'll show you soon, it can be anything, just like I have here, a card with copper tape, battery, LED, small robot, wearables, and it could be something else too. So maybe in their searching, they may come across something, and as long as we have the materials for them to create it, and for them to teach and have another student create another artifact, then that's okay. I will have the special education teacher come up from in the beginning of this, either day 1 or day 2. I'm hoping day 1, but we'll see how our schedules work. And for her to kind of talk about how, the differentiation would occur, and what students may need, the needs that would be individual for each of the respective students who she has in her classroom. And if I cannot get the students in the special education classroom, there's a few other 7th grade classrooms that also coincide with my second period physics class. So I'll probably try to have the seventh graders in one of those classes, and then we'll all try to meet over in the STEAM center and go from there. So career connections, like I said, it will be about teaching. So there will be an education aspect as far as a career connection. And it will also be trying to get electronics technician and electrician to come in and talk to the students. But I'm not sure, he may not be able to show up in person. So that might be have to be via Zoom. But quickly go through some of the gold standard elements. I do have a lot of reflection in here, and I think that that's important just to kind of slow down their learning and check in with them and see, where are you and what are you doing. I also pretty happy about the student voice and choice, although they are going to be paired with someone who is hopefully compatible in some manner, may share some interests. It could be a person with whom they've never talked, and this could be intimidating for the physics students. This could be somewhat scary. I do have some of the physics students that do volunteer with the students in the life skills classroom, but the way for them to really take ownership of this project through the research and, let me move through. I'm actually going to scroll all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but I'm going to scroll through each milestone instead of just going on there. So milestone number 1, like I had mentioned, try to have the special education teacher come in. And then this is kind of like an opening to the project. I am going to see where the students stand with their background, their base knowledge of circuitry, and just have that open conversation, just a kind of a fun conversation. Have them search, have us talk. I can get out some of the supplies that I have in the back room. And I was thinking, although I don't have this, I think I did type it in under milestone 2 as I was reading through this before the video, but I would like to have some stations set up, and it could even be as early as the first day. Have some stations set up for them just to kind of play around, because I think that they're going to end up learning more. I don't want them to just Google something and copy it, but play around, see how things work, and then always the little reflection, a 3, 2, 1 reflection, or have them talk to their peers. I have lots of dry erase boards and I use those a lot, little individual ones. Let me see where I'm going. So before I get too far into it, like I said, I have them select from something. So let me shrink this and this, and well, this is their possible pre-assessment, and I'll probably add more to this, but this is kind of where it is right now. But, maybe they'll pick a wearable. I know that there are some individuals in the special ed room who may be interested in doing something like this. They may find that fun. I'm going to post some videos on just some basic little robotics projects, and maybe that may be of interest to them, or maybe they'll just take off. And as they're looking for something, again, if I have the supplies on hand or if I can easily get them, and it's something that's doable for not only the physics students, but something that they can teach to somebody else. This is kind of where I am going to get the students started, and we'll see where that goes. But the students themselves are going to, oops, sorry about that. They're going to need to document what they're doing too. So I think I have that up here. Reflection prompt in their individual journey through Google Slides. So I am going to have them do a Google Slides to just document their journey. So they'll have all the reflections in there, and I can just hold them accountable for their grammar and their communication, even in their own little journal. And milestone 2, this is where I have the community partner, the electrician, hoping to get him to come in. And like I said, we'll see where that goes. have the students by this point, moving forward with trying to design the artifact. What components do we need? Let's try to start to brainstorm how we're going to build this, and any handouts or anything that they may need, anything that, whatever they might have picked, so that they're starting to kind of think, hey, I need to build this myself. And what do I need to do? What do I need to learn in order to build this artifact that I've selected? And then moving along to milestone number 3, we probably in this zone, I don't know if have it listed here, but probably here a little bit more. We'll step it up. There's probably going to be an assessment regarding, what is your takeaway thus far with circuitry? What are the basic elements of circuitry? Probably give them something where they're going to have to label things in a little more refined of a manner, not just as open-ended as the pre-assessment, and just kind of observe where they are with everything here and how they're building and how they're trying to document their build so that they can move forward with, teaching somebody else. And then as we get into milestone 4, this is where we're blending into them, really refining, putting together a different slide presentation for their respective individual in the learning support classroom. And what do they need? Do they need some special, do they need to have the font size larger? Do they need to, what is necessary for them to be able to differentiate the learning for the individual that they have? And this, I believe, will take a bit because I want them to be able to refine. I want them to be able to reflect and really be clear in their language, and a lot of, give them sample lesson plans. And I actually did something very similar. Let me pop out of here again. Actually did something very similar a couple of years ago with my a previous physics class. And these are, I'll just quickly show you, these are 2 exemplar of what students did for, actually, I want to get out of here. I'll just keep it here and I'll scroll down the side so you can look at the small little thumbnails. But what they did for the students with special needs at that time. So I believe this was in 2022, and it wasn't as detailed as where I'm headed right now. But when we did this, I think my physics students did a really great job teaching. Okay, so again, you're looking at this through the lens of these seniors put this together to teach other students, the students with special needs. And I'll show you briefly another one. And, they were very clear and with their language, and then they helped guide. So they had this there as they were teaching. And that is what I would like my students to do this time as well. So let me pull up here we are again. Back. And I do want to make sure that they are on task with moving forward with their lesson, but they, have everybody there to peer edit, to reflect on what they're doing. And then milestone 5 is like, hey, you built it, and you put together a lesson, and we had a chance to reflect, and you got your bins together. You're doing this is where I have the carousel walk, where all the groups, the physics students, will be able to go through everybody else's lessons, just double check, make sure that everything is clear, so that as they teach, that they'll be able to communicate effectively to the individual that they're teaching, and peer review their other work, and kind of think that's it. There was this complex communication rubric that I think I do have it pulled up. I'm just going to pop over here again. Yeah, maybe not. I might have closed it, but the one of the rubrics, actually quite a few rubrics from PBL works, and I'll probably go in and see if they're still, for this, or based upon our new perspective with project-based learning. But the complex communication rubric really stuck with me because I think that, as we encourage our students, especially my seniors, but all students, to be able to communicate effectively in a variety of manners. So that is my project. And I am really looking forward to seeing where it ends up. I'm just going to scroll back up here to the top. So I'm hoping that my physics students are able to, where is it at? To light it up. Hoping that they're able to light it up with the students in the special ed room. And I think that this will be good for everybody involved.